I'm going to go over Unilever because I traded this ticker today, and I'm going to cover a trader's question coming up. But first, your price targets for Wednesday on the 5-minute time frame. This is where we ended at 65.43, up 2.76%. To the north side takes us to another level of resistance and a potential take profit area at 66.17. Another area of resistance and also a potential take profit area, 66.62. And should we be so lucky as to get to 4 standard deviations, don't hold your breath though, that would take us to 67.02. This is a sell signal, and also another sell signal. And to the south side, we're actually very close to the middle of the trend. And if I were to draw that out, oh, here's my little line, that would be right here. And that's very close to where I sold today. And I'll talk about that in just a second. Now, to the south side, at -2 standard deviations and 1 level of support, there are many levels in between -2 and 2 standard deviations. You can turn on your Bollinger Bands, your VWAP, draw your trend lines, your Fibonacci retracements, read your candlesticks, whatever you like to do. But again, there are many levels in between. Whoops, Command Z if you accidentally hit something you didn't mean to, for it to recalculate there. All right, to the south side of that at -2 standard deviation, -3 standard deviations, and another level of support and a potential buy-in area and a potential stop loss area, 64.10. And then this one will take us to an area we've been to before at 63.68. I set a sell limit this morning at 65.30, and literally probably about 1 minute before I looked at it again, it had started to climb, and then I got sold out because I was going to change it to make it higher. But that's okay. I was fine with that because when I looked at it early in the morning, my target was going to be roughly around this gap closure that I have been talking about for weeks. So let me move this out of the way. At the time, I hopped off roughly at 2 standard deviations. It was a little higher then. So I took it to 65 something, which took me to 2 standard deviations, and voila, it hit. So I was kind of bummed, but I was kind of happy. So I bought shares at several points, different lots, at 53.79, 51.13, 51.04, and 50.95. For the lots that I bought at 53.79, which is, oh, it's way down. It's, I should probably show you this on a bigger time frame. It's hard to, 53, wait a minute, 53.79. Yeah, 53.79, and I got out at 65.30. So that's a return of 21%. For the other shares that I bought at 50.95, that's a 28%. So I got roughly between 21 and 28% and got off the gravy train. Will this ticker go higher? It sure will, but will it fall back to go up again? Definitely. This is not just going to go up every single day without consolidating, basing, crashing a little, going back up. You never know what's going to happen with this because there's a trade war going on, and this is Unilever. The next price target is going to be 74.24. So if you can stomach it for the long term, so if you're looking months out, this could be an opportunity. This is not an opportunity for me because I bought way lower, and that's not how I like to trade. And we are at resistance, and I'll show you where we're at that point on the 5-minute, and I'll show you the other time frames. So, oh, and I still do own this ticker in my other account, and I just sold out of this in my Fidelity account, got rid of it all. So let me show you what happened also. We gapped up, okay, oops, and it Unilever, the news is this. Unilever, what did it say? Would be a new all-time high based on available data back to January 21 of 1972. No, that's not what it's looking at. Up 3.13% at today's intraday high, the largest intraday percent increase since April 11th, 2025, when it rose as much as 3.41%. Yeah, this thing doesn't move in big amounts, so just keep that in mind. On track for a record high close data talk, whatever. But there was something else, excuse me, my allergies are still acting up. Okay, what did I read earlier today? Something about, oh yeah, pulling the fund on Ben and Jerry's Foundation. They give this Ben and Jerry's Foundation, was it like 5 million or 5 billion? Where is it? 5 million. You give them $5 million. How about you give it back in a dividend? I mean, that is just ridiculous. I'm sorry to say that. Ridiculous. You need to reward the shareholders. So, what did it say? There was a point that I wanted to make, but oh well. I just sidetracked. Yeah, I didn't like that when I saw that. That's abuse to me. I mean, that's ridiculous. Yeah, Ben and Jerry's is a great brand. You know, they make tons of money. You don't need to give them money for their own foundation as a company, as the umbrella parent company. Okay, so what I want to point out is an opportunity if you're looking to buy in. So we gapped up. The market ran a little bit today. So we gapped up to this level right here. Today is Tuesday. All right. And this is what I call an opportunity gap, but it's to the south side if you like to go short. And if this is something I want to get into, yeah, it could take a while to get back down here, but I'm more of a player back down here when we reset than to buy it up here and hope it runs up. That's just not how I trade. See, notice how we're grinding along the middle of the trend here and the baseline? Oh, that needs to be changed to purple. That's the middle of the trend. And again, I've been talking about these gaps for weeks, and I'll show you on a different time frame. There, it touched there at 64.89. This is no longer in play. This is something I anticipated a long time ago when I bought into this because I loved how it crashed and tanked. It was horrible. But Unilever is a huge company, and we have other gaps to the downside, as you can see. That will also take us to 62.12. So, hey, I mean, 63.73 is a better price, but this is even much better. But again, this could take a long time to get to these levels, but I would be more interested in a pullback. And then we have this one at $60, and you can bet there will be a pullback at some point. All right, that's 50. I guess I had it at 60, so let's be precise. $60 right there. And what else? Okay, now let's take this to the, oh, what is above? Is that the only, I think that's why I was interested in this. Yeah, that might be the only gap that I saw to the upside, and I got off the gravy train. But that was my intention pretty much going into this. I had an exit plan. Let's go to the daily, and I'll give you some targets. Oops, stay on page. Option R. There we go. Okay. So I do have my lots at 44.58 and a bunch of other shares too, but still very, very, what do you want to say? My percentage is pretty high. Okay, I know this is hard to see, but ignore all those lines. I've marked out previous price targets by the analysts, my buy and sell lines. If I've sold out, I made it a light shade of pink like this one. So I still own this one I can see, and I still own this one I can see. And I think I didn't mark it all out. But let's make this a little bit bigger. Oops, I dragged something down there. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Gosh darn it. Let's put the cursor up here. All right, we are at 65.43. I know it's hard to see this blue line right here. So one target to the upside, that's 2 standard deviations, that's 69.71. All right, and the next target is 74.97. Okay, and then to the downside, that will take us, oops, I have to find my, aha, there it is. The green line right here. Oh, that it will close out this gap if we flush down back to the middle trend of the trend on the daily. You're going to get different buy and sell signals depending upon which time frame you play. And then after that, these gaps. But we're not there yet. Just wanted to show you. Oh, how long was that gap? Okay, so I have been tracking this thing in my gap and go trades. I was tracking it before and then I included it in my Sunday gap and go trades, okay? So I started tracking this in that ticker, in the video, on Friday, October 18 of 2024. And finally, we made our way back up. Okay, so that has taken a very long time. So October to October, November, December, January, February, March, April, a year and 5-6 months, if I did the math right, the calculation right. But nonetheless, you get the point. Look at this. We got slammed all the way down, and then look at this. And this is what I want to say to Aunt Desborough, the trader I'm going to answer a question for. Look at how this lined up on the daily down here. This is where I like to troll for tickers that I'm going to be in probably a longer period. Here and here corresponds to. That was a good buy-in area. Okay, let me show you this on the monthly or the weekly. Okay, like I said, I've done this so many times and I marked it out here. Okay. Oh, wait. Oops. So I want to show you the RSI. That's what I look at. So on the weekly, look at this. I forgot to show it to you on the daily. We're about to peak past this part where this is resistance for me. So instantly your radar should be up. There's something going to happen, and that's called a reversal. So that's going to go up. I don't know how far it's going to go up, and then it's going to come back down. It always happens. Look back here. It doesn't stay up here. You're asking for too much if you think it's going to run. No way. Okay, so it got slammed down to here, and then it rose up, and then boom. Now let's look at this on the daily because I forgot to examine it closer. Look at that. Look at that run. And then looking back, when did we run it at that point? That was April 25th. And then here's the spot where your radar should have gone off. It didn't even hit above 70. Cracked right there, March of 2025. And then this area started in August of 2024. But this is your opportunity to buy in at a cheaper price, typically, when that lines up. Now let's go to the, let's go to the monthly. What does the monthly tell me? So we had a peak and then we fell and it's running again. So yeah, we could go up some more and then come right back down. How far down did we get on the monthly? Look at this low, 29.30. And where did that line up? Oh, look at that. I don't need to be an analyst to know where to pick up stocks on a quality company that's going to be around, okay? This company is not going anywhere. $16.84, and that lined up with this. So If you're trying to stay in a ticker and swing trade for a longer time, that's what you should do. Go on the monthly time frame and troll. I don't go into a trade thinking I'm going to hold this for a month, I'm going to hold this for 2 months. I could be holding it for 9 months or 3 weeks because it hit my targets. So I encourage you to think of it in that way and not specifically a time frame, because this is going to tell you the time frame and it may not fit your idea of how long you want to be in that trade. You got to be flexible. So Jerry's brands include Ben & Jerry's, Dove, and the reason I also wanted to buy in at the time that I bought in is like, okay, I eat Dove. I love the ice cream bar with the almonds, my favorite. I don't eat Hellman's because I do Miracle Whip. I don't think that's Hellman's. That's just Miracle Whip, I think. And then I do Knorr and Lipton. So I like their brand. I use their product, and I bought it. And it was cheaper. 47.87, and is the 52-week low, and I bought it at 44.58 at the time. But this is changing. Okay, enough talk on that. Now I got to answer a viewer's question, a trader's question. Let's see here. Let's go to, first of all, I'm going to go over here. And let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Northrop Grumman. Okay, so, no, I'm going to go to Target because I put it on Target. So, Aunt Does Bruh cracks me up. Says, are there any stocks you're looking at from a technical standpoint that are good for about a 1 to 2 month holding period? I am definitely a technical trader. I do not trade the fundamentals. I don't care necessarily about the fundamentals. And when I care about it, I buy the ETF. I let the analysts and the hedge fund people buy it for me, and then just stock up on those ETFs like VTI. I don't know the other one I have, the small cap stocks. I keep forgetting to look it up. But anyway, so I let them do the research, and then I've bought so much of that. I don't buy it anymore. Now I just trade individual tickers. And it's hard. I don't trade on a 1 to 2 month cycle, as I mentioned. I just see the signs, and then I get in, get up, and get out. And for my long-term stuff, like my Apple, my Microsoft, my Palantir, I'm keeping that for pretty much forever, okay? The other stuff, I could be in it again for a couple days, couple weeks, couple months. So what I do is I've already broken out on the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, 236 tickers within this fund. I went through and I methodically put it in the watch list. So then I sort it every day. So this is the bottom of the barrel. We are green today, thank the Lord. Look at all the green, but a few tickers in the red. So I have time to do 10 on my own. Usually I look at 10. And what I'll do is I'll go from the bottom, and then I will switch this over to the 5-minute. Not the 5-minute, the month, gosh darn it, the monthly. And I don't even look at the chart. I look at this. This is what gets me interested in a ticker. I would have been interested here. And this is, obviously this has come over time of me just looking at thousands and thousands and thousands of tickers. So this is getting juicy. It's getting way better. I prefer it to be here, but sometimes the RSI never makes it to past this point of 30 and below. And I use 30 as support, 70 as resistance. I don't even think about it any way else, just support and resistance. So it's coming to my resistance. Can it get down here? So then I mark out the lowest point. So in my mind, let's change the color to make it brighter. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, can we go here and then go even lower for a better opportunity for price to get even lower? Maybe, maybe not. These two lines have not crossed. So there's still more bleeding to do with target. But because this is getting lower, I'm loving it. Okay? I've looked at this many times in the past. Your 52-week low is 87. So we're still sort of close. The range is 167. Then I'll look at the price target of 127.21, which represents a 35% return from where we are. I like that. And then, so where does this line up? This low lines up with this. And look at that. I marked this out a long time ago. this opportunity gap. So this gapped up, and you don't see that gap on the monthly. You might not even see it on the daily. I mark it out on the 5-minute, okay? Then look, your reversal down, but we bounced, didn't hit it. It was a fake out, a breakout, and then down. So let me see what happened here. So I'm putting this on the list for you. Did it really touch though? Let me make it even bigger. Do I give it a win as in it closed out? No. So yeah, the price could go to 83.60 on that's the monthly. Okay. Down, it could go down to that level. And then the upper band, 144, but that's a long ways off, okay? So this gap will close to that level. So that's a better price, I think. And with the trade wars not settled yet, I think it's all going to change, and it's going to be in the benefit, obviously, of Americans. So it will bounce when all that stuff ends, and the chatter and the back and the forth and the name calling ends, it will bounce. Okay, so I want to show you this on the 5-minute. Now let's give you the price targets while I'm here. And notice this price label got all wonky because you cannot flip from one time frame to a larger one and the price label stays the same. It doesn't. It used to, but TradingView changed it, and I wish they would change it back because it's annoying as heck. Okay, here, let's move it closer to the spot. Let's go to the 5. Oh wait, it went in the other direction, but at least I see it now. Okay, I want to point out some opportunity gaps. Let's move this out of the way. And that is marked. I marked that out on the monthly. So if the 5-minute even hits that point, you know it's already hit it on the monthly. So that's a little cheat sheet thing you can do by marking things out. All right, we're basically at the middle of the trend. Where is my, oh, here it is. I'm going to make this purple. Okay, we could go sideways. This could be resistance, chop sideways, or go up. And we are in an upward channel on the 5, so that's nice. 96.12 for Wednesday. 97.09 and back to an area we've been, 97, 98, 97, what was it, 80 something? Wait a minute. 98.08. Note the bounce at support, sell off, boom, at resistance, broke through. This is support also, and we fell through, and now we're just grinding along the line. Price likes to rest along this line in general. Follow the course because that slices through the upper band into the lower band, the channel. Clear bounce there. Resistance here, broke through, didn't make it exactly, but you know, it was creeping up and then slamming down here. Okay, so that's it for target. So I want to mark out one thing for you to look at. Ant does. Bruh. I sound sick and I can't say it. I think that's how you say it. I mean, the ant does. Okay, you do crack me up. Okay, I want you to also look at, besides TGT, look at mRNA and this one, MCHP, microchip, MCHP, and then I'm going to do this one for a short. This would be Philip Morris, and I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to quit because this video is getting way too long. Okay, Philip Morris, and the reason I say Philip Morris is because, well, on the 5 anyway, or not the 5, the monthly. I also do the opposite, where I look at the RSI on the monthly, but then I troll for tickers that are at what is resistance. So anything above here, I gotta change the color, is resistance. Okay, my radar is going off, ding, 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 ding. something is going to crack soon. That means it's going to fall. Price is going to fall with this, okay? This is old here. Look at that, 112. What is the 1 year price target? 157. We've already hit it, 21. The forecast is now 180 potentially. Okay. What is this? The lowest I've seen this is 89.01. Yeah, I wanted to buy this at one point and I didn't, and then once it doesn't fall in line of where I want it to be, I stop it. I really should stop that practice. Okay, look at this. Lining up, peeking out here. Okay, let me just go to the weekly. So this is, I've marked this out on the weekly, but look at the RSI here. We've already passed a very important line. So, okay, so they are reporting revenue tomorrow. All right, so, and we're at resistance. Look at that. Keep that in mind on the weekly time frame. Okay, and you know what happens at resistance? People will take their profits and they will run, they will lock in, and they will leave. And then going down turns into support. There could be a bounce. This is support, could be a bounce off this line. So keep that in mind. And then on the daily, so we're overextended on the weekly, and on the daily, turned up, okay? But once we hit this critical area, is it going to make it and then just give it back? That remains to be seen. But we're also at resistance on the daily, but we are also in an upward channel. Look at that, clear support, clear resistance, sell-off, clear resistance, sell-off, lining up with the middle of the trend. You know, this trend here, not going sideways, but the green line. And now we're at resistance. So I'm going to anticipate we could run up a little bit more and then boom. So keep that in mind for Philip Morris. If you like to go short just for a pullback to then make another leg up. But in general, what I want to say, Aunt does, bruh, that I don't trade in monthly time. Well, I don't stay in a swing trade for 1 or 2 months when I get into a swing trade. I'm actually trying to trade gaps. It helps me get in, get up, get out to close those gaps up. And that's what I'm more focused on. But I like to troll on the monthly for longer term buys and holds. So if you consider 6, 7, 8 months, you know, longer than your period that you're talking about, that's more what I do versus holding it 1 to 2 months with that in mind, because I don't trade that way. All right, that does it for me. If there is a ticker that you want me to go over, please let me know, and have a great trading day.